Okay, now let's talk about the different roles that are going on in this industry. You have two main roles, and we'll talk about a third role later on in the course. Is called creative. That's the person who actually creates the ads, writes the copy. In a larger agency, in a larger business, you may have where they have the funds and the organizational structure to hire multiple people. These roles would be split up. Most of you, probably 99 out of 100 of you, are going to be doing all three roles at the same time. Really, there's two roles that you need to understand. The one role that everybody really knows is the media buying role. And that role is when you're actually purchasing the ad. That's when you have your images, you have your headlines, your descriptions, your targeting, and you're kind of loading it into the interface and pressing publish, and it goes. That's media buying, or I like to refer to it as ad buying. It's just an easier word to understand. And that is you're actually purchasing the ad and putting it in there. And then you have the media planning role. Media planning is actually where the money is made. Everybody wants to get to the media buying, and I get it. That's the fun part. That's, when you press play, that's when you press send, that's when the results start coming in. But media planning is where the money is actually made. Media planning is when you're doing the research, the customer research. This is when you're finding out what type of image should you even use? What type of colors should you even use? What words should be in your headlines? All of that stuff comes in the media planning role. And that is when you're creating all of your assets to deploy in the media buy. So and this even comes before the creative, right? So you would do your media planning, and then you take that media plan and pass it over to the creative. The creative then creates the copywriting, your headlines, your descriptions, your call to actions, your imagery, and then gives that over to the media buyer. The media buyer deploys it in the interface, presses send, the data comes back in. Maybe that goes over to a data scientist or a data analyst who pretties it up and makes charts. Then you have a meeting with the company, and everybody talks about the numbers and says, okay, we need to optimize it a little bit more. So it either goes back to the media buyer, the creative, or the media planning. And that's kind of how like a large agency would run. You are probably going to do all of that and need to understand all those different roles and how those play out with your clients or with your boss. And if you want to go work for a bigger company and only be able to do one of these, that's your choice. Most of you, there's so many jobs available where you will be wearing one, two, maybe possibly three of the different hats here. And then, as I said, the media buyer, they're deploying the plan from the media planner's plan, right? And you're delivering it to the intended audience. It's going out to the auction, which that's really what happens. You're not necessarily just buying ads. It's not like you go to the grocery store and you pick up an apple and you pay X for the apple. There's really an auction that's happening, and what's happening is everybody's deploying all of their ads, and they're saying, I bid this amount, I bid that amount, I bid this amount, I bid that amount. And then it's not always who bids the highest, like a traditional auction. Actually, it's who has the highest click-through rate. And the reason for that is because let's say I'm bidding $1 per click and you bid 50 cents per click. Well, if I'm getting 2 clicks per every 1,000, then the network made $2 from me. But if you're getting 5 clicks per every 1,000, which is generally the metric, we call it CPM, CTR. If you're getting 5 clicks per every 1,000, then you actually gave the network $2.50, where I only gave $2. So that's why the industry really works off of click-through rate. And that's why we'll be talking a lot more about how to optimize your click-through rate, because it's not always about your bidding. Your bidding sort of plays in a little bit, but you more so want to be focused on how do I improve my click-through rate? And that is what's going to win the auctions for you. And winning the auction means you're going to get a lot more traffic.